Welcome back to the Daily Dialogue. I'm Alex, and I'm here with Sophia. Today, we're talking about a phenomenon that almost everyone with a smartphone experiences every single day, often without realizing it. It's a silent thief of joy, and it's called the comparison trap.
Hi Alex. It's funny because they say comparison is the thief of joy, and yet, our entire modern world is built on tools that force us to compare ourselves to others 24/7. I caught myself doing it this morning. I opened Instagram, saw a travel blogger on a beach in the Maldives, and suddenly my morning coffee in my kitchen felt boring.
Exactly. And that's the trap. You were perfectly happy with your coffee until you saw a filtered version of someone else's life. We are the first generation in human history that compares our behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's highlight reel.
That is such a powerful way to put it, the highlight reel. We forget that what we see on a screen is a curated, edited, and often staged moment. We don't see the travel blogger's flight delay, or their sunburn, or the fact that they spent 3 hours trying to get that one perfect shot. We just see the final product and think, why isn't my life like that?
It's a biological glitch, Sophia. Evolutionarily, we are wired to compare ourselves to our tribe. In the past, your tribe was maybe 50 people in a village. You compared yourself to your neighbor. If they had a better spear or a warmer coat, you tried to improve. It was a local, manageable competition.
But now, our tribe is the entire world. We aren't comparing ourselves to the girl next door anymore, we're comparing ourselves to billionaires, supermodels, and world-class athletes. Our brains aren't designed to handle that much upward comparison. It makes us feel like we are constantly losing a race we didn't even sign up for.
And it's not just about stuff or vacations. It's about life timelines. You see someone on LinkedIn getting a promotion at 25, or someone on Facebook getting married at 22, and you start to feel behind. You start to think there's a right way to live and you're doing it wrong.
The timeline pressure is real. I have friends who are genuinely depressed because they feel they haven't achieved enough compared to some random person they follow online. We've turned life into a competitive sport where the rules are made up and the points don't matter, but the stress is 100% real.
Psychologists call this social comparison theory. There are two types, upward and downward. Downward is when we look at people worse off to feel better, which is a bit mean. Upward is when we look at people we think are better. And while upward comparison can inspire us, in the age of Photoshop and filters, it usually just creates envy.
Envy is such a heavy emotion. It's different from admiration. Admiration says, wow, they did a great job, maybe I can too. Envy says, I wish I had what they have, and I feel bad that I don't. It's a very passive, draining feeling. It doesn't lead to action, it just leads to bitterness.
And the platforms are designed to trigger this. The algorithms know that outrage and envy keep us scrolling longer than contentment. If you were happy with your life, you'd put the phone down. So, the digital world is constantly showing us what we don't have.
It's like a digital mirror of Aroused from Harry Potter. It shows us our deepest desires, but it's an illusion. I've noticed that the more I use social media, the lower my self-esteem drops. It's a direct correlation. When I go for a hike without my phone, I feel like a queen. When I come back and check my feed, I feel like a failure.
That is a very common experience. It's what I call the digital mirage. A mirage in the desert looks like water, but when you get close, it's just sand. Social media looks like connection, but often it's just performance. We are connected to more people than ever, but we feel more isolated because we aren't showing our real selves.
We're afraid to show the real us because the real us is messy. We have bad hair days, we have messy kitchens, we have days where we feel insecure. But on the marketplace of attention, messy doesn't sell. Perfection sells.
So we all pretend. We all post the best version. And then we look at everyone else's best version and feel bad about our real version. It's a giant circle of pretending that makes everyone miserable.
It sounds so ridiculous when you say it out loud. Why do we do this to ourselves? How do we break the cycle? Is the answer to just delete everything and go live in a cave?
Well, as tempting as a cave sounds sometimes, it's not very practical. We need to find a way to live with these tools without letting them steal our souls. It's about digital literacy and emotional hygiene.
Emotional hygiene. I love that. Like washing your hands, but for your mind. How do we start washing away the envy and the comparison?
That's exactly what we're going to discuss in part 2. We'll talk about curating your feed, the JOMO philosophy, and how to reconnect with your own reality.
I'm ready for some digital soap. Laughs. Let's take a quick break.
And we are back. Before the break, Sophia, you mentioned a great term, emotional hygiene. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by images of perfection, we need to learn how to protect our mental space. If you don't filter your feed will filter your reality.
That's so true, Alex. I realized recently that I was following about 50 people who made me feel bad about myself. Fitness models, hustle culture gurus, people who always seem to be at a party. I didn't even know most of them. I was voluntarily inviting reminders of my inadequacy into my bedroom every morning at 7 a.m.
Exactly. Imagine if those 50 people actually stood in your bedroom and shouted at you, "Look at my abs. Look at my car. Why aren't you working harder?" You would call the police. But when they do it through a screen, we call it inspiration. It's not inspiration, it's a toxic comparison.
So, the first step is the digital audit. I went through my followers list and asked myself one question: does this person make me feel inspired or does this person make me feel envious? If it was envy, I hit unfollow. It felt like a weight was lifted off my chest.
That is a power move. You have to be the CEO of your own attention. But it's not just about who we follow, it's about how we use the apps. There's a big difference between active use and passive scrolling.
Tell me more about that. I think I'm definitely a passive scroller. I just flick my thumb and let the images wash over me like a tidal wave.
Passive scrolling is the most dangerous. Your brain is in a low-energy state, and it's absorbing all those comparisons without your logical filter being turned on. You're just soaking up the perfect lives and feeling worse. Active use is when you go on the app to message a friend, post something specific, or learn a skill, and then you leave.
It's like going to the supermarket with a list versus just wandering around while you're hungry. If you wander while you're hungry, you end up with a basket full of junk food. If you scroll while you're emotionally hungry, you end up with a head full of junk thoughts.
Junk thoughts, I love that. And those thoughts lead to the comparison debt. You feel like you owe the world a better version of yourself. You start to perform. You take a photo of your dinner, but you don't eat it yet. You move the fork, you adjust the light, you wait for the perfect shot. By the time you eat, the food is cold and the moment is gone.
We are sacrificing the experience for the evidence. We care more about proving we had a good time than actually having a good time. I've seen people at concerts who watch the whole show through their phone screen. They are there, but they aren't present.
They are there for their followers, not for themselves. This is where we need to embrace JOMO, the joy of missing out.
I've heard of FOMO, fear of missing out, but JOMO sounds like its cooler, more relaxed cousin. How do we find joy in missing out?
JOMO is the realization that you don't need to be everywhere, see everything, or know everyone. It's the peace of mind that comes from being exactly where you are. When you see a cool party on Instagram and you think, "I'm so glad I'm at home in my pajamas reading a book," that's JOMO. You aren't missing out, you are opting in to your own life.
It's a shift from scarcity to abundance. FOMO says, I don't have enough, I'm not doing enough. JOMO says, I have exactly what I need right here. But Alex, how do we handle the social pressure? People expect you to be connected. If you don't post for a month, people ask if you're okay.
It's true. We've created a world where visibility equals existence. But the most interesting people I know are often the ones who post the least. They are too busy living to be posting. We need to de-digitalize our self-worth. Your value is not measured in likes, comments, or shares. It's measured in the quality of your real-world relationships and your own peace of mind.
I think we need to practice analog reality check. When I start to feel less than, I look around my actual room. I look at my cat, I talk to my mom, I smell the air. None of those things have filters. They are real, they are messy, and they are mine. Reality is the cure for the digital mirage.
Reality is the cure. That's a perfect mantra. And remember, everyone you envy is also envying someone else. The billionaire is envying the guy with more freedom. The celebrity is envying the person who has privacy. The comparison ladder has no top. If you start climbing it, you'll never reach the end.
So the only way to win is to stop climbing?
Precisely. Step off the ladder. Build your own garden. Focus on your own baseline. Ask yourself, am I a better person today than I was yesterday? That's the only comparison that is healthy. It's me versus past me, not me versus the internet.
I feel so much lighter already. I'm going to go home and do another digital audit. I think there are a few more fitness gurus I need to say goodbye to.
Your brain will thank you for it, Sophia. To everyone listening, your life is not a competition. It's a unique story that only you can tell. Don't let someone else's edited story make you hate your original one.
Don't hate your original. I love that. Thank you, Alex. This was exactly what I needed to hear today.
My pleasure. And thank you to our listeners for choosing to spend this time with us. Now, put your phone down, go outside, and enjoy the unfiltered world.
See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye everyone.